Hello, welcome to SoGoodReviews.com, the YouTube edition. And we take a look at Powerful 4, directed by David Lam. And with this movie, he turned away from exploitation productions such as Hong Kong Gigolo and Gigolo and Whore, and towards a different subject, namely the formation of the Independent Commission Against Corruption, ICAC, which was established in 1974 under the British rule of Hong Kong as a way of cleaning up corruption within different facets of the government, including the police department. And the movie Powerful 4 feels created more as a local product where beforehand knowledge is counted upon. And some of us has not read Wikipedia beforehand or lived in Hong Kong, so we will not pick up on certain quick lines acting according to the filmmakers as subtlety. This means we have a sloppy movie on our hands here. The character Yolinda Yan plays asks a very valid and interesting question at the start in modern times, where she's confronted by the ICAC, and she asks them to ask themselves if corruption was such a bad thing back then, considering the times and what the character of No Head did for the force. And it's a central theme hovering over the heads of our quartet of leads when the movie cuts back to the 50s. These were men known to get very little wages for their work, and the police department pretty much was structured around that extra money coming through changing of funds between themselves and the criminal world. But the main issue was control, and the police at the driving seat always. So this new cop, in a way, No Head, he thinks it's by the books or not at all, and that's actually quite an ignorant thought, but not a cynical dark thought. So eventually, therefore, Danny Lee's character, No Head, he plays the game without any internal or external protest, and looking at David Lam's world that he created, it's created with an eye for the polished, without being overbearing with the period details, thankfully, and we get a decent feeling of the world ICAC. This is done before that 1974 date I spoke of, and there is sincerity in Lamb's vision. Extending it beyond that good start of the movie, though, is another issue, though. It simply doesn't happen. The movie stays content almost. After a while, much content is put in automatic gear, just like the characters, actually. Criminals are caught, promotions are handed out, Brotherhood plays a part of it all, and the latter opium heroin problem across Hong Kong becomes the main issue for the quartet. And later there enters a now it's personal angle, which leads to trademark gory violence and gunplay, and it means it's an expected product out of 90s Hong Kong cinema, the full working machine in 90s Hong Kong cinema, which is not always a bad thing as such, and competence across the board should be applauded. But Powerful 4 merely becomes a slight look at something riveting, interspersed with recognizable scenes of mayhem, and that's not good enough because the movie wants to be important as well.